It was an old house with peeling paint and a slate roof that was more than 100 years old. The house had been in the family for generations, but now it was time for the old man to move into a care home, and so he put the house up for sale. One day, a young couple came to view the house. They were instantly taken by its old world charm and made an offer. The old man accepted, and soon the house was sold. The young couple were making plans to renovate the house when they heard it. They were upstairs in one of the bedrooms when they heard what sounded like a voice coming from inside the wall. They thought nothing of it and continued with their plans. But the next day, as they were walking through the house, they heard the voice again. It said, "Beware the piper's curse, beware the piper's curse." The voice seemed to come from behind the wall. They looked around the room to see if there was a hidden passage or maybe an old air vent that the voice could be coming from, but they couldn't find anything. So they shrugged it off and went about their business. However, over the next few days, the voice continued to get louder and more frequent. It would say things like, "Beware the piper's curse, beware the piper's curse," or "Get out, you're not welcome here." At first, the couple thought that they were going crazy. They couldn't figure out where the voice was coming from or why it was there. It wasn't until they did some digging in the attic that they uncovered the truth. They found a small, musty book in the attic that was filled with old newspaper clippings and journal entries. One of the journal entries dated back to 1899 and told the story of a man named Thomas Piper who lived in the house. According to the journal, Thomas Piper had been a wealthy businessman who had made his money selling patent medicines. He had a wife and 2 children, but they died in a fire that also destroyed his business and his fortune. As he grew older, he became more and more reclusive and eventually died in the house in 1945. No one had lived in the house since then, and it had remained empty until the old man had moved in. But what did any of this have to do with the voice? As they continued reading, they learned that Thomas Piper had been a kind of alchemist, and he believed that he could communicate with the spirits of the dead. He kept a journal of his experiments, and one entry in particular stood out. It was the date of his death, and it read, "Today I will join my family in the afterlife. I have prepared them for my arrival, and we will be together again for eternity." Below that entry was a diagram of the house with markings on each room, and in the bedroom where the couple had heard the voice, there was a circle with the letter X in it, and then below that, a small inscription that read, "Beware the piper's curse." Suddenly, it all made sense. The voice they had been hearing was Thomas Piper, and he had been trying to warn them about something. But what was it? They didn't have long to figure it out because that night, as they were sleeping in the bedroom, they felt the bed shake beneath them and heard Thomas Piper's voice boom through the house. "Beware the piper's curse, beware the piper's curse." They ran out of the house and didn't stop running until they were far away. They never went back to that house, and it remains empty to this day. Some say that Thomas Piper is still there, trapped in the house with his family, and he will never rest in peace. Others say that he is just a figment of the old man's imagination, a product of a mind that was addled with age and dementia. What do you think? Was the voice in the wall real, or just a figment of the old man's imagination? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. This has been your host. Until next time, stay safe, make good choices, and stay away from old houses with voices in the walls.